Welcome to the Reclamation Point podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Moetown Lee. And Rod Shotgun is my partner.
Dr. Ed Garnes, pouring sweet tea ethics that you know and love, even though I don't have tea today.
Thank God that he doesn't have tea today. Because, wait. I said thank God. No, he needs the tea. He needs the tea. You say he needs the tea. But, man, Ed, first of all, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I had some good people pour into me, so I'm feeling good. I decided to go ahead and walk at this graduation next month, so I'm feeling excited.
Wait, you weren't gonna walk?
Nah, I wasn't gonna do it, man.
I did.
I wasn't gonna do it.
We gotta talk about I'm glad.
Trauma.
That's crazy. This is how it works. So
Learn something new every day, right?
Exactly. So for those that are listening, you don't see, but those that on camera, they see us. They see there is somebody with us. We have a guest today. Ed, who we got?
We got Sister Bessie Akuba. I'm honored. You know, she doesn't come out the house much. You know, she's in her creative process most of the time. So I'm just excited to have her. So she's more than just a photographer, right? She's a documentarian, right? And so she's been doing this long as I've been alive now, about 13 years. Yeah. But I mean, what I like about Bessie is that she's an artist to the core. You know what I'm saying? So her art deals with humanity, intimacy, deep relationships, that unappreciated beauty that we see.
Oh, I like that, Ed.
Okay? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She will take a photo and it tells a story, right? My sister's from Ghana, you know what I'm saying? People's is from Ghana, so we got a true motherland sister here. So I'm just excited that she decided to come outside, rap with us. You're also our first guest that's a sister, so we want to show the sisters love.
Okay.
And you are here because you love brothers.
I do.
And you have a lot to say. So how would you like to enter the space?
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't do that.
No.
That was too soft.
No, that's not that. No.
All right. I'll let you go.
First of all, let's say this. Welcome.
Thank you.
We are happy to have you. We're pleased. We've had. It's funny because last week we went and had an impromptu lunch, and he was like, you know what, this is natural. We gotta have you on the show, right? Mm-hmm. Let alone you were saying something crazy. Well, you said something that I thought initially, like you said, like when you said it, that. And let's qualify this.
Okay.
This isn't your opinion.
That's right.
You know what I mean? This is something somebody told
That's
you.
That's right. Secondhand.
Okay, so wait, what did they tell you?
So I was having a conversation with this gentleman, a black man, age group maybe late 50s. He said to me, do you know what the number one killer of men is, but black men specifically? And I said, no. What is it, heart disease? He said, no. It's women. Women are the number one killer, the number one cause of death among men.
I can just see the viewers going ding, 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 ding.
And I said, I don't understand. You got to break it down to me. And then he began telling me about different situations, different people that he knew. And the majority of the women that he knew were widowed at that particular age because they have outlived their husbands. And he said a lot of that's because they've killed their husbands, whether it's by stress or just not taking care of them or being the right partner. But they are the leading cause of death in men. So what do y'all think?
So the thing
I'm
is,
sweating because that topic is just juicy, you know.
So when she initially said this, right, I was like, damn. That brother was bold when he said it, right? But then after living with it a week, I was like...
He said living with it, okay.
You know what? That has some validity to that statement.
Oh, okay. You going there.
I mean,
right.
now, let's be clear. First of all, I don't think it's not the number one killer.
Okay.
You know, there's so many things that black men that do us dirty and we do to ourselves. But let's have a conversation about that, because let's look at. I'll play devil's advocate. It'll be me, and I'll come from the perspective. I'll come from the perspective of that particular. I'll speak from the perspective of that particular gentleman. Why? Because Ed can't, because his wife would kill him.
Right? There we go.
I mean, so since I don't want him to be the statistic, and then I'll be doing the show by myself talking about, see, it's proven to be right. Maisha kill Ed. See? So since I don't want to get him
Killed.
murdered, or Lorena Bobbitt did, or something like that, I'll speak for me. Now, do I think that black women kill? I think it's a double-edged sword. So I think, yes, women can be like, men can be worried. So that worry is stress. Mm-hmm. The lack of having a woman, or the woman he needs, that can be stress. The lack of having or the pursuit of the things that men perceive that women like, money, nice shape, or whatever it is, that can just be, a lot of those things can come into play.
Yeah.
Now, is it the woman's fault? No. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's about men in their pursuit of women, or dealing with certain things that can be harmful to his mental health, sometimes physical health, because you're just trying to achieve and get these women that you feel like you need or you want.
Right.
Right.
You said women plural. Okay.
No, I'm just talking in general.
Okay.
So when we, from that perspective,
Yes,
it could be true.
It can. But the way he said it was like a gut punch.
But I'm just saying, so if he because it's all about communication. I'm learning this, and just the way that we say things amongst each other, we can't say it to y'all. So if I say the way I explain that, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Mm-hmm. But if we say, but he was just like, yo, he didn't give an explanation. He was just like, and I wasn't there. I'm talking like I was there. He didn't give an explanation. He was just like, yeah, women are the number one killer of men. And, biblically and all that stuff, a lot of men have died in their pursuit of a woman or over a woman.
I'm trying to stay in my seat.
Man, you can't. First of all, you can't. Listen. And this is, and again, you're listening to the Reclamation Point. So everything, our conversations are very constructive. This isn't an attack on women. This isn't like, brother, stand up. This is just looking at it from a different, This is just coming and showing like a different side, a different perspective. Now, it isn't a woman's fault that pursuit or those things that he whatever fella is trying to do to like chase y'all or catch y'all attention is causing stress or harm on him. I'm not blaming women. I'm just saying that, well, logically that could be true in some cases.
Would you like to enter the chat? Because
So
I
how do
have
y'all?
I have a lot to say on this.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
No.
The thing is, like, how do men manage stress in relationships, though? How do you manage expectations? How do you go about preserving yourself and your mental state when you're also balancing? Because I know men have so many irons in the fire trying to excel with relationships, with work, with racial issues, especially black men. Like, how do you... Where did you learn
Speaking my language,
how to manage the expectations of women in relationships? How did you learn to balance that, or have many men learned that?
No.
No,
But that's where we go to.
The doctor.
The doctor.
Good Reverend
Good
Doctor.
doctor. I done stepped up in here today. Yeah, this was just all in my spirit. It's all in my spirit because the therapist in me is one thing, and then the black man in me, I'm all of that, all wrapped into one. Whenever we create an adversarial relationship from the beginning of something with black men and black women, that just gives me pause. Whenever it's a situation where you listen to, you can listen to the media, all sisters is this, black man ain't nothing. So anything that starts adversarial is not relationship building. Right? So the black woman is not my enemy. You know what I'm saying? So I have to just say that loudly. The black woman is not the enemy. Society, being in a white supremacist culture, having the stress of subsistence, all of the rules of masculinity that we learn from other people that are not black. So those toxic notions of masculinity, relationships, all of those factor into our stress level. I think that where we have gotten wrong is that we see this as a competition.
Or a comeback zone.
Instead of a collaboration.
Yeah.
So, that whole thing just gave me pause because, as black people, we forgotten we need each other. The most revolutionary act that we can do as black people is to raise strong black families. So we can never lose sight of that.
But so I'm speaking.
Are you devil's advocate or are you Moetown?
No. I'm me, okay. And I'm speaking. And this question is coming from a general male asking this question, right? So based on what she asked, I think you touched on it, but you touched around it. Like, what is it that? Because I don't feel like how do we deal with stresses in a relationship?
We don't.
Where's your outlet?
But that's the thing. Our outlet, for instance, my outlet is like sports or hanging, like being around my partners or something, just something stress free. My outlet isn't. I think sometimes I feel like that question is I can answer. I just because it's a Reclamation Point podcast, the cameras is on. I know I'm going to have to hear about this later.
Go right ahead. We all have to pay that.
Sometimes I think that question is like a shot. You don't want to answer it. You'll answer it I'll answer it to Ed, right? But if I'm answering it, I can't. Being perfectly honest, sometimes I be feeling like women look for that refuge and that safe space. Is like we're in a relationship. I'm supposed to be part of this refuge and safe space. But I'm like, my refuge and safe space is from you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't want to be here or whatever. But some of the stresses that you got to deal with, like I can go and out and have dinner with my partners. It's not a deep conversation.
Y'all keep it light.
Yeah, but we can have deep conversations, but like about life, about finances, but it's not like, it ain't personal. It's not personal. I can take a personal conversation that I'm dealing with and have a conversation with Ed, and it's never going to be Ed not compartmentalizing it like, well, what do I feel? What about me? Or are you talking to me?
What's my motivation?
Yeah, but like when you talking to your significant other, she's looking at it like,
where do I fit in?
He's talking to me.
It's about me. Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not. I'm just talking about life in general.
We don't have good love mentors. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to look at my parents' relationship, I would be screwed. Me
too.
I would be screwed. I mean, when I tell you my parents argue, Lord have mercy, they argue. Like to the point that I try not to raise my voice, at certain times in my life because I get tired of arguing. So we haven't been modeled emotional expression as men to be able to communicate. It's like your brother Ryan Davis, the the comedian.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, we don't know how to talk to each other because nothing has been scripted, and masculinity is such a static thing that it doesn't have the elasticity necessary for us to be able to talk about our fears, our insecurities. I'm just flowing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the harsh drink I shouldn't be drinking. So we were never modeled that. So you got two people that don't know how to communicate with each other based on Western world notions that have nothing to do with how we need to communicate cordially. But the underpinning is that it's created an adversarial relationship when it shouldn't be. We shouldn't look at each other as enemies. We shouldn't look at each other as winning. We should look at each other, how can we come together?
So let me ask this question. In your business and work relationships with women, is the communication different from romantic relationships?
Yeah. You want to know why?
Yeah.
I mean, no, but I still, even in the business relationships, I can talk to my male counterparts a different way. Okay. I can say certain things to them, like my partners, I could be like, man, you know what the fuck you talking about. Excuse the language, but I can be like, you don't know what you're talking about right now. I can't say that to my female counterparts.
No.
But I'm like, this is how we naturally talk. And then we live in a world today where like everything is like, it's HR damn near. And you can't even have natural conversations or natural relationships because my natural relationships is like, we like family. You know what I mean? Like the people I do business with, it's like a family. And so, and within that family, we going to say some things that people don't agree with. Can't do it.
Can't.
No.
So it's like our the miscommunication between men and women, black men and black women, is the thing that causes the stress.
Yeah.
Not even what we're discussing or what the issue is. The fact that we just can't hear each other at all. And y'all take that stress one way. We take it another way.
It's
we
like,
go to our girlfriends.
Yes. We both are dealing with stress. Let's just say the stress is Kool-Aid. Ours is red, y'all is orange, but we still deal and traverse society in similar ways. So, you know, professionally, I think the communication is different, you know, for me in my world because two parties feel like there's nothing to lose. Like I said, that adversarial relationship that sometimes comes about with black men and black women, it's a protection and defense mode that happens sometimes in the communication of romantic partners.
Yeah.
In professional relationships, there's normally a goal orientation, a team orientation that sometimes we struggle to find. But we struggle to find it because of what's modeled. I mean, there are 5 million or more relationships that are black that are positive, but are they modeled and promoted for us in order to see that and say, hey, I want a little bit of that, I want a little bit of that, remix it with that, and then that's gonna be me. You know? So all we see is, hey, all black women, you want my money, you want this, you know. So when we look at models, where's the elasticity of imagination of what it could be?
Right.
We're normally trying to fit into something that has been dictated to us. Like in America, you have to be monogamous. That's one thing that traps us up. Like we have it's funny. We're revolutionary people, but when you start talking about relationships, notice how closed-minded and traditional black people become. Oh, you cannot have sex before. It's all
We still in that box.
Yeah, it's all these rules, and the black imagination just gets lost that it has to look this certain way.
Right.
So inevitably, like.
So what do we do?
That's and I think that is the thing. One of the points we definitely want to focus on, because Reclamation Point podcast, we want people to listen to us and kind of analyze their situation and focus on solutions. I hear like the common solution to communication, but it's uncommon because it's always like a misunderstanding in between those two, between the two, you know. What is it? What is it? Men are from Mars,
women are from
From
Venus.
And so when we think about that, like, how does a man? Because example, I hear, or the conversation. It was a conversation about men and listening to women, right? And you know what? I'll tell the truth. Shame the devil, because this is what we do.
Tell it.
I was seeing someone on social media, and she was talking about, and then of course Ryan Davis talked about this, and he was like, he said it comically, and he was like, women tell the story and the backstory, and then dudes just want like the Q notes, like you just give us the
ESPN
notes.
version.
Just
Yeah,
get straight to the point. But also, women also kind of tell the story for just to vent and just for us to hear. And the way the male makeup is,
Y'all want to fix it.
Let's get to the root of the problem.
Right.
So, how does, as a woman, because I don't, you know what I mean? I'm always under the impression that you telling me to let's figure something out. Mm-hmm. It took until recently that I've just realized, like, oh, you actually just telling me these stories to tell me?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So like in my past relationship with my ex, the thing is that became a huge issue for us. It's like, why are you telling me this shit? Mm-hmm. I just want you to listen. So moving forward, what we did was I would tell him, just ask me, are you looking for me to solve the problem or you just want to talk? Okay. And that kind of helped, communication in that area moving forward. Like a lot of times we just want to talk. Okay. But when we really, really need a solution or you to fix something, we'll say that. I'll say that.
Right.
So do y'all lead with, hey, Jerome, I need you to come in here and just...
I lead with,
okay.
I need help.
Okay, all right, cool.
I need help. What do you think I should do? That's what I lead with. If I don't lead with that, I'm just talking. Just listen.
But how do you decipher, like, when to like, unless you specifically say it, I'm automatic, like, I don't know how to turn off the solution. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't know how to listen just to listen to a problem. Like, I have a shirt. Solutions outweigh problems. Yeah. Like, if I'm getting, just think about, like, as a male, right? As a male, every day, as a black male, every day you deal with problems. You're dealing with everyday problems as a black man, societal stress, like economical stress, family stress, racist stress, relationship stress, right?
That was stress. Listening to that every day is just stress.
Right. All of these are problems. Mm-hmm. And now you're telling me in a relationship that I got to listen to these work stresses or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, and I'll be honest, a lot of times a woman's stress, I'd be like,
that's it.
Is this
that's what you're
talking about?
Kim wore the same outfit.
She hating on me at work, and I'm like, why do you even care? Why is this even a personal conversation at work? Go in there, you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, and get up out of there.
When I hear that, it's like, so you don't care about how I feel.
I was about to say you don't care about. I was
you don't care about how I feel.
I was about to bring in the empathy.
But my empathy is listening. And I'm like, all right, cool. What we gonna do? But why are we?
So I think it might be our condition. I could be wrong. Do you see masculinity as fixing things?
To a degree, yeah, but not. But do I think it's a negative thing?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not critiquing it as positive or negative. I'm just saying if you see masculinity as fixing things, then it would make sense. But we're conditioned to have that that masculine flow of fixing things.
Okay, so we have a better understanding of like turning on and off masculinity and fixing, right? And this is just a question to you because you're the woman at the table. All right, so you dating a dude, right? You like, all right, I want him to be able to just turn off his solutions, like, you know what I'm saying, when I need him to, right?
Yeah.
But then you have like he's coming to your house and there's a mechanical problem. There's a board that's not in your hardwood floor that needs to be nailed in.
Okay.
And every day or whatever days he comes over, he's walking over it. You're gonna be like,
You ain't see that? That's what I'm gonna say. I'm like, you didn't see that? Well, can you help me with this, please?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we like? He like, yeah, I didn't know if you want me to fix your problem.
Perfect metaphor, Mo. The hardwood floorboard is out.
You make a good point.
So it's like, men are black and white. We black and white. There ain't no like in between trying to figure out when we supposed to fix this board. Like, you know what I'm saying? We gonna come over. All right, it's a problem. Cool, I'll come over and fix it. If I can't fix it, all right, I'll call somebody to come over and fix it. What time you gonna be home? Right? That's me. I ain't gonna sit around and talk about how long the board been out and all this. I don't want to talk about that. What we gonna do? Let's fix it. Let's figure this thing out.
It's funny because I saw the board and I was like, okay, I can't do anything with my hands. So I would call someone that does. But I would probably sympathize with you on the board. Like, how long have you been feeling like this?
Yeah, how long has it? When did you first notice this?
Yes. When did the board really give you some trouble? Like, that's how I flow. And then I would also have a solution under that. And I'll be like, tell me more about how the board.
Oh, I like that. I like that approach.
And then in the meantime, I'm calling Mo. I don't know nothing. You know anybody know something about some hardwood floors?
Right.
Because I'm gonna get this empathy, but I'm going behind the scenes work on the solution. But I had to learn that.
So I yield again. That scenario in my understanding, I yield to the professional and I yield to the young lady. In that situation, like how do I turn off my natural masculine, let's fix these situations thing? How do I turn it on and off?
You don't turn it off, but you can gauge it to the woman. Is that even possible though?
I'm asking because I'm seeing the board. Like I done told you, I'm gonna empathize with you. I'm gonna work on the solution behind the scenes. We're gonna talk about the board. What are you?
Is that even possible to kind of? I don't think
to turn it off.
I don't think it is.
I don't know if
because I think once you turn it off, you've kind of disengaged in a way. Okay. You know, you've disengaged completely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the toxic Ed that Moetown didn't know existed. I wouldn't give a damn about how you felt about the board. I would call somebody over there. We ain't talking about no feelings. It's done. Meanwhile, you may be feeling something that I didn't really give credence to the board and how you felt about that board because I would be straight into solutions. But after bumping my head and losing many good women, just focusing on solutions and not trying to find that middle ground.
Like it was a holistic approach to solving the problem.
Oh yeah, I wasn't always this person. Okay. I was straight. I had the button, fix it, shut up. And fix it, shut up, kept me single. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work for me because I was so toxic that anything else was not received because it had the wrong energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm fixing it, but I'm also mad at you because your board's out. You know, so I'm fixing it.
And I get mad. I'm like, well, you ain't have to do it.
Exactly. So that's me. I'm like, God damn it. The damn board.
If you're going to be like that, you ain't have to do it.
And I'm going to complain about your board.
Then we're going to fight.
Exactly.
Because the communication is...
And that's exactly what happens. So the board is the perfect metaphor for relationships. Because I misread it, I get mad, you get mad, and then you talking to Keisha. You know what? You see, his lack of sensitivity over this board is one of the main problems. And then we get podcasts talking about we not sensitive to the board and the floor.
So there it is.
All right. Sometimes And I think like sometimes we have to understand that communication and understanding goes both ways, right? So, okay, I'm being told to just listen, just hear you out and listen. All right, cool. How about you? All right, so can we cut the movie? Like, I'm that person. I went and saw Black Panther the other day. Wakanda Forever.
That's a whole nother.
Right? And I thought to myself, regardless if you liked the movie or not, but the movie was 2 hours and 42 minutes. I left the movie like, they really
stretched it out.
241.
Okay.
You could cut this thing, cut a whole hour out of this thing.
After the Angela Bassett pass, they could no.
He told the movie I didn't tell.
Hey, if you ain't seen the movie by now, that ain't my problem.
you know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
hey, it's the Black first weekend.
I did.
After the Black first weekend, a movie come out, you can talk.
all I'm saying was the way my mind was set up.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they done told us 800 different backstories and went through all these different emotions. This isn't what I came to see Black Panther for. Came to see some action. I knew, you know what I mean, Chadwick got passed, so I was okay giving me that and a couple of backstory, and that's it. I don't need 10 backstories. I don't need all of this, right? So when I'm dealing with a woman, right, it's like, I be trying to, I swear to God, I try to listen. This isn't, I ain't trying to listen. I be trying to listen, right? And there's times where I prepare myself to listen, right? All right, I'm listening to this whole hour-long story, right? This is how I'm gonna get murdered. So I prepare myself. I prepare myself to listen to this story, and then that be the time she don't want to, like, women don't want to give you the story that day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like talking.
To hear this story.
When I was ready to talk, you weren't ready to listen, so I don't feel like talking.
Like, all right, cool. What's up? We ready? Like, I'm listening. Because I gotta be mentally prepared to hear this novel.
Okay.
I ain't gonna front. If I watch it and you have to understand the way I listen ain't the way you think. That if you really want me to pay attention, if you're just sitting up and think it's just about to be me and you looking in each other's eyes and I'm having a conversation with me, and you're like, oh yeah, he paying attention. Oh no, I'm not.
You thinking about the groceries, work?
Yeah.
Signing this contract?
After, let me tell you about this beat at work. Right after at work. I ain't hear nothing else. I'm just like, yep. It's rap songs going through my head. It's everything going through my head. Right? That's just not how I listen.
Right.
Okay. Now, if I'm watching the game, right, I'm totally listening to you. I'm listening. You may feel like my attention is diverted. The game, the sound ain't on. I'm listening to you, but I'm watching this. That's the perfect time to actually talk to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you talk to me when it's just silence and it's me and you, that ain't gonna work.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I have to, like, tell people have to understand that when it comes to me and how I listen, right? Because most people don't understand that. They think I'm looking at this, I'm not paying attention. Like, if I'm driving in the car and you talking to me, I'm listening.
Okay.
Because other things is going on.
Right.
But if it's just quiet and it's me and you, I'm not listening. And even if I'm listening, I'm burning up inside. Like,
do you communicate that?
Yeah, but people don't. But a lot of times people don't understand it because they're like, that ain't how regular people listen. I know it's abnormal,
but that's you. That's you. I wouldn't say abnormal, but I would say that's you.
Like, I don't sit when we're in, it's funny because when we're in work meetings, we're all like we sitting around at one music fest. We have this table. And we all sitting around and we having conversations, doing this, and my leg is just going
like that.
It is times where like my partners, most of the time it'll be Jay, and he'd be like, "Man, look at the table." Man, look at the table. So you literally
the table. Like,
look at the table. He'll just stop me, man. I'm like, oh, and then I just move it to the other leg. But it's like I'm like they call it restless leg syndrome, but I'm actually finding a rhythm. You know what I mean? Like, all right, cool. I'm listening.
Like a jazz artist. Okay.
But most people don't, understand that. You try to communicate, and that is sometimes that ain't good for people because that ain't the way they communicate. Because they like the TV is on. I can't focus on what I'm saying.
Right.
Well, slap me with the truth, Sister Bessie, because I got my own question for you based on what we've talked about. With the board is going to be the metaphor. I'm using that. You don't say because the board. See, I was trying to empathize. I mean, I believe that people need two things. They need to have their humanity affirmed. They need to know, they're special. You recognize them for who they are. And they also, everyone wants help. Right. That's what I think just universally that people need.
Right.
Does that transfer to black women?
Yes.
Like having your humanity affirmed, like I
Absolutely.
see you, I appreciate you,
Absolutely.
and helping. So how does that work for you all?
For me, how that works is being acknowledged.
Okay.
Having my efforts be acknowledged.
All right.
Having what I'm contributing to any type of relationship, whether it's a friendship or romantic, having that be acknowledged.
I felt that.
Like, seriously. When men don't acknowledge the efforts of black women or acknowledge my efforts as being a whole human and making sure somebody's good. You good? Are you okay? Not acknowledging that, it's hurtful. You feel unseen. And when you feel unseen, you don't feel loved.
So what was that I just felt when you just I don't know. That just
No, but we do. Black women do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I felt that, Bess. I felt that.
I mean,
how do we how is it best that we as black men show that we consider you and we care about you?
It's a very complicated answer.
All right.
Because it also comes down to communication. That communication thing, some black men, they feel it. I've had conversations with male friends who would say, but we do value you. But we're not, that's not being communicated to us.
Okay.
The way y'all are communicating it, we're not receiving that. We don't hear that in some situations, but it comes down to communication. Okay. Whether it's the physical communication, how we communicate through touch, like just different things. Time.
I was sitting here like
you can communicate in different ways now.
I'm like, what kind of communication are we talking about here? Are we talking about elbow rubs?
The views and opinions of Dr. Edward Garnes are those of Dr. Edward Garnes and Edward Garnes only. It not reflect on the views.
We all
of
getting
the
fried off of this
Reclamation
episode,
podcast.
so I'm willing to go through the fire. But yeah, so you're saying in that communication, because we always say communication. So when you say communicate, what does that mean to you? Because every time we have the conversation, we say, "Oh, communication is the key," but we be in circles.
Doctor, I don't know. Okay. I mean, I know, but to articulate it,
all right,
it's complicated for me.
All right,
but to how I know that I feel valued by a black man is just being acknowledged. Okay, just being told simply, like men are decisive in their communication. Say it. I value you. Okay. I see what you're doing. I like how you make me feel. Okay. I like what you're doing. I like what you're contributing, whether it's to work or to our relationship or to me. You've made me feel like X, Y, and Z. Just say it.
So since we gonna say it,
The podcast that got us banned. No,
so I thought of while we're sitting here and while we're having this conversation, I go back to the initial statement, the initial topic about black women being the number one killer of black men in America. And I thought of, now that I think about it, I don't necessarily think that, I don't believe that black women are the number one killer of black men in America, but I think that metaphorically speaking, that black women make black men like our kryptonite. Y'all can be our superpowers and y'all can be our kryptonite. Meaning like the power that y'all possess, because the power that black women possess over us, like sometimes it's undervalued. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When for me, there's nobody else like on this planet that can say or do certain things to me and I'm like, it's okay. You know what I mean? This is no disrespect to any race, creed, color, anything. But my mama's a black woman. So I'm going to look at all black women a certain way, right? So they can get away with certain things my patience and all of these things when dealing with black women is going to be different. But if somebody else said or did, or I'm not even open to being vulnerable with anybody else but a sister. You know what I'm saying? So it's like nobody else has the power to help, hurt, or hinder my progress in life but a black woman. Right? And it's about what people do with that power.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it is the black woman has the power to tick me off more than anybody else, right? Anybody else, I'm be like,
peace.
I'm gone. Like, why are you even talking to me? I'm gone, right? Nobody else has the power to make me feel as good and appreciated and accomplished as a black woman, right?
Yeah.
So, in hindsight, I don't know what that brother was saying, but I think that if we're speaking broadly and kind of like Shakespearean, metaphorically, then that statement can actually be true, but not true in a sense where it's derogatory.
Right.
But true in the sense of you actually have the power to make me be vulnerable, stressed, happy, satisfied, fulfilled, sustained. There's all these things that black women have, like the ability to make a black man feel. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
And that's the reclamation point.
Yeah, that caught me.
Yeah.
That caught me. I'm real sensitive today. Ooh, that was deep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So for him, again, to all the brothers out there, don't take the black women are the number one killer of
Listen
black
to the
men
whole thing.
and take that. You know, and be like, it's true. I told you, man.
Listen
Listen to the entire episode.
to the entire episode as we have encouraged people online to do.
Yeah,
but you know that resonated with me, Mo, because when I was talking about why I wasn't going to graduate, it really was black women showing love for me as to why I could. I think that you know, like you said, I feel like I can fly with the support of a sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like my game is on. I can accomplish anything. And I think in my younger years, selfishness, toxicity, and different things prevented me from having bonds that could sustain me. But, you know, as I've gotten older, wiser from some vainglorious mess ups, because Moetown didn't even know I was toxic back in the day. But I can say every success that I had, a sister is anchoring that success.
But no, not a but. Because we have to talk about that. And since we're here, we'll go back to these other things, but I want to talk about that. Because here's where the student has to become the teacher. Mm-hmm. Ed is the therapist. He's normally the teacher. He's normally teaching me a lot of things when it comes to mental health and stuff like that. But I don't, and I know the reasons why you say, "Oh, I didn't want to walk," is because you feel like what that university and the administration put you through.
Yeah.
You have so much dislike and disdain for that university and what it put you through that you're like, I'm not even gonna give them, the power to be in this moment. But then you got to look at it on the flip side, right? That accomplishment, that moment means more to other people.
Yeah.
Right? Maisha, who's Ed's wife, she went through those struggles in that fight with you, right?
You're right.
And so that struggle and that fight to now you walk across that stage and receive your doctrine, right? That means a lot, right? Ellison will always have that in his head.
Yeah.
Say you're a doctor. Everybody know you're a doctor. We recognize you as a doctor. We've been recognizing you as a doctor.
Yeah.
But that moment.
That ceremony, the ceremonial
I got you.
action.
I got you. I felt that.
And for you to exclude yourself from that moment, you still giving them the power.
Yeah. I had to come to that. Yeah.
Man, listen, man, you know what's power?
Yeah.
Walking across that stage in front of all them motherfuckers who hate it and tried to block it and all that.
No, I receive everything you're saying, man.
That's power, dog.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
Yeah. I mean, my point in mentioning it was that, I did allow that to take over, but black women have a way of making you see things that you can't see.
There's power in that, dog. And for different reasons, like I didn't, and I think this spring I'll probably do it. But I went to school like during the pandemic and got my degree. And then when the graduation time came up, we had an online graduation, but then they had an in-person graduation. And I was like, I ain't gonna do it. But it was for different reasons. It wasn't because, of those the reasons that you had. My reasons was just like, all right, subconsciously, and we spoke about this. I spoke about this in therapy. Like I was just like, I'm all right. I got my undergrad degree. I need to go get a doctorate or whatever. I always look at it like that's not good enough. I'm only as good as the next thing I do.
Gotcha.
That was something I accomplished. All right, cool. I'm gonna hang that up in the house and then move along. I haven't even spoke about it since then, right? And so other people were like, "Oh, that's huge. Like that's big." And I'm like, "Is it?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, did it. Even me going back to school, I literally did it in the closet. Like, basically, I was, like, doing on these online classes and all of this stuff. And I was like, I ain't telling nobody because if one day I might just not want to do this. I might quit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not telling anybody or whatever. And plus, it's not a big deal. And I'm also this person who pushing education to my guy kids and my nephews. And I'm like, yo, y'all need to focus on, when they do bad in school or something happens, their parents call me and I'm having these conversations with them. And I'm like, you a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? I'm a straight up hypocrite because I'm like, all right, now I'll go back to school and doing all these things. And I can lead by example for them. And so I didn't, when I had the opportunity last spring, I didn't do it, right? I was so embedded in, the festival and everything, but I still had the opportunity to go and I didn't. So now they're like, hey, look, we had a pandemic here, you can come back and do it. So I'm like, you know what? I am going to come back and do it just because it just, just that feeling of accomplishment. So I think it's something big for you. I think you should definitely. Yeah. I'm glad you made the decision to do it.
I am too.
Yeah, black women are. They would cuss you out
and love you in the same
bring you back up.
Why? Because they are the number one killer
of black men.
Exactly.
I put 7 years of my life on hold.
You better walk across that stage.
So yeah, I had my point in bringing that up is that also we go through things as black men that challenge us, and so what you were saying about being the kryptonite sometimes, but being the empowerment, that's what has helped me, through my many traumas that I still undergo, is the love and support of black women.
Yeah, because it's just it again.
And you see, I didn't tell none of y'all because you see the speech that y'all gave me, so I knew not to say it out loud. I was just trying to keep it. I'm not going to myself. But.
Yeah, it's important, dude. Now. Back to the sisters and the brothers, and back to our initial point, because I think it's important. I think I want to make sure that people are they walk away and have some understanding on relationships, the strain that this isn't because. You hear our conversation. This is not to combat anything. I think we want everybody to leave and listen and with a bit of understanding. So there's this clip that Ed sent me. What was that today?
Today, this morning, something. I'll be up late.
It's Young Jock. Did you send it to her?
I couldn't open it.
Oh, we couldn't open it.
So it's Young Jock, and he is on a show with his wife, and in the conversation, his wife said that she don't want their sons to grow up to be like him, and you can tell he was you could tell he was livid, but you can tell he was hurt. Because as a man, the last thing you ever want to hear is like somebody who you look at and like, that's me. It's your son.
Yeah.
You'll never want anybody to think that you are not good enough for your son to emulate and follow.
Right.
Now, everyone's going to make mistakes in life, you know what I mean? So you never want your children to follow in the footsteps of like the bad traits or the bad characteristics that your parent he or she may have. But for me personally, there's things that I feel like I'm like I can't follow in my parents' footsteps or the things that they did. But then when I look at, like for instance, me and my mother, we love her to death. We beef sometimes, but there's some, when I look at having the ability like to show compassion, to be there for others, to give, and all of these things, these qualities that I feel or other people feel like they're positive for me, I got from my mother, right? So think about you. Y'all both have kids. I don't personally have kids. So I'm like, damn, I feel John.
I do too.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the clip, but just hearing that.
Yeah, and to take it a step further, what he said is a time and place for everything. He was like, I didn't go to college. Do I want them to follow in my footsteps and not go to college? No, I want them to go to college. But what he was saying was that don't use a time in the media to down me as a black man when there's certain things that we need to keep private and talk about. Right. And he was like, it's things about you that I could easily say and put your stuff out that I don't want my daughters to do. He said it's not the time and place for that. And he talked about because he loved and respected her, that he understood this moment is not a time to hash out negative things as a couple.
Right. My thing is, why would you have children by a man you don't want your children to be like?
He did close with that and say, why you with me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, what are your thoughts there, Bessie?
That's exactly what I said. Like, why would you have children by a man you don't want your children to be like? You know, so then it goes back to her. You made that choice. You made that choice to have children by a man you don't want your kids to be like. I have children by a man that I can't wait for my son to be like. So it's all about the choices that we
brother,
make.
if you listening,
Shit.
Like when you
can we say endorsement?
When you take away the romantic part of things, but as a human being, I can't wait for my son to be like him. Be the human that he is. You know, be the leader that he is amongst his friends, amongst his organizations and his work and just people. Like, the romantic part is none of my business when it comes to my kids. But I can't wait for my son to be like the man I chose to have kids by. So it all goes back to her. Like, you chose him to have kids with.
Powerful yet succinct.
Yeah.
Bam!
And I think that's important. I mean, we have to. I can't attack, or I would never attack and do something like that publicly.
Yeah.
There's just so much hurt.
That's painful.
And I would never be like, hey, you know, that's your child. Like, you want your child. Don't even, you can just be like, hey, I'm cool with you saying, I don't like this about you.
Yeah.
But don't bring my son into it. Like, I don't want my son to be like you. What?
Keep the kids out of that.
But that's a different kind of. I can be like, Ed, man, I don't like that you drink all that sweet tea.
Yeah.
Right. Then I come to you and be like, man, Ed, I hope
Ellison never drink no sweet tea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll be like, Mo, what?
Like, hold on, that's mine. What you talking about?
I'm sensitive, so I would be hurt. Yeah, I would be hurt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hell you talking about?
Because I drink it a lot. It's an addiction, so I definitely would be hurt.
They ain't gonna make you stop drinking. He'll be like, I'm drinking more.
Nah,
this is ridiculous.
I would stop for Ellison. I would stop.
So that is back to the original point. We're gonna keep going back to this because we want to make sure that people do not take that clip.
Disclaimer.
And say it and run with it and be like, black women be killing them brothers, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I'm still thinking about what Bessie just said. I mean, hell, you know how you said that you know, black women want to hear that, you know, with the way, woo.
And he knows this.
Yeah, that's some powerful stuff.
We gotta. It's all about the choices we make in life. That's all I'll say.
That's some powerful stuff. It hit me. It's still up in the room because, you know, we need to hear more of that instead of throwing oranges like I always say on the show. We throwing orange at each other.
And
like,
there's more of that out there, but it doesn't get, you know.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
Again. It's
because if we healed, what's the joy in that? Does the system win if black folks are healed? Right. No. So we can't show that.
I'm still in the process of learning how to listen. I'm gonna continue to work on it and try. Oh God.
Think of listening, and you are a very loving and supportive person. Look at listening as an extension of that side of you that you already expressed.
Yeah.
When I was in the hospital, you one of the few people that I called like I'm struggling, I'm losing my mind, because you have a natural empathy. Even though you're solution oriented, you're still a naturally empathetic person. So listening is just extending that side of yourself that you already have into another area.
It's a muscle.
But you have it, Mo.
Yeah.
Man,
You
that Ryan
have it.
Davis kept it. Okay, so all right. We're communicating.
Yes.
You're having a issue at work.
Okay.
Clearly, this issue didn't just happen because I'll listen to it the first time.
Is this time number 3 or 4?
Yeah, it'd be the same person, same problem.
All right.
At the third time, you telling me this exact same story, just sprinkled in a few more weeks of this person ticking you off. What am I supposed to do here?
Ask me how's that making you feel?
But I already asked that.
You did? No, you
Yeah.
said what you gonna do about it.
No, I asked. No. I'm asking. I hear you out the first time, and the second time I'm like, so "What you gonna do?" Quick.
Okay.
This time,
No, hey, we got the gloves off now. All of us done took the gloves off, so don't give us the nice answer. Take the
Tell
gloves
me,
off.
because I need to know. The brothers need to understand, and this is coming from you, and this is coming from the professional. Help us understand, how do we listen, or how do you feel as a woman that your voice is being heard, telling us a story about this at work?
ask me some more questions about her. Because what I've learned in my past relationship, whenever I would vent, he would be like, "You talking to me like I'm your girlfriend. I don't care about that." And that's really what it comes down to.
The relationship, it wasn't me. It wasn't with me.
Disclaimer. Ding, ding.
Like, you gotta call one of your homegirls and vent to her.
Damn, it's brother. Wait a minute. Contrary to popular belief, it wasn't me.
It
but
wasn't.
damn, that's crazy.
I need a flag.
Because all of
he 2 for
men
2.
communicate the same way.
Okay.
And at that moment, I said, you know what? You're right. But I want you to go back and forth, banter with me on this, on my issues at work. But you're right. It's I don't know, because I would want you to banter with me.
So
Kiki.
So would banter be like?
Never getting that.
Oh, she doing it again?
Yes.
So last time,
Yes.
she came in the break room on you.
Let me tell
What
you.
happened now? You want us to?
Yeah,
All
but then that story would go on for about an hour and a half, though.
Okay. All right.
Hour and
We would just keep, because I'm going to stop, I'm going to go do something else, and I'm like, let me tell you what else she said. Remember that other person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it would go. But it comes down to communication, because the fact that the situation is not you, but my partner at the time had the same response that you would have had, Mo, is...
So tell me, what does the banter do? What does the banter do for you?
It makes me feel more connected.
All right.
Makes me feel like we're connecting on
Okay.
something outside of our relationship.
All right. The dance of the banter.
The dance of the banter.
Moetown is like, I'm not bantering. That's not a part of my makeup. But, I'm glad that you said that, because, we're going a little bit deeper than just saying, it's how we communicate. Because we know there's a communication issue. But I think what you are... Now, this could be your thesis statement. You tell me if I'm off. You just really want to be considered in a way that makes you feel valued and affirmed.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So,
I'm feeling your energy and Motown's energy. I'm like, flag on the plate.
so Ed, help me out, right?
What you struggling with, bro?
Because I still don't how. All right, so let me ask you this, because it's a school, it's about listening. counselors and therapists, are y'all just naturally good listeners, or
No.
or y'all being, or how? What's the exercise that they teach y'all to be able to have the capacity to listen to people's problems?
In order to get to a solution, a person has to be their authentic self to a point that they will spill all of their beings uncensored to you. That's the only way a person gets to a personal revolution. And so as a counselor, we are trained to help other people get to personal revolutions and understand that listening and a person feeling valued and affirmed is part of that. Now, many of us professionals need to take that to our personal life. That's a whole other thing, right? So look at the listening part as that's where the healing comes in. Is from the listening. When a person can be their authentic selves and just give you just everything. I don't know why I thought about Martin Lawrence right then. But when a person can just set the stage, right? Everything that they have been thinking about that they're able to share in this moment with you, it frees them just by you listening.
Yeah.
And a freed person you can love better when a person feels like they can be free to express themselves, lay it on the line. And what happens naturally in relationships is when one person lays it on the line, you do it intuitively. So what starts to happen, this person, you've created a space for this person to lay it on the line, and you find yourself venting and talking about things that you never talked about before because the atmosphere has been created to lay it on the line uncensored. And the reason why relationships suffer, especially in the Black community, sisters looking for a safe space, brothers looking for a safe space, but nobody has provided the space to listen. Whenever, and look, let's just be real. In my personal life, when I forget what I am telling you, I get into problems. When I forget to affirm, listen, let a person be their authentic self. But it's a struggle because what we're taught about masculinity, we're taught that's a no-no. We're taught that that's feminine. So we don't have that muscle. I had to learn that. And I'm still learning in different situations how to create space for people. Or should I say, hold space for people to do that. Moetown is like, shut up! I don't want to hear it.
I ain't like that, man, but I'm like, again, I'm going to listen to it the first time. That second and third time, I'm like, why me, dog?
So I put it another way. The Rams have consistently been a failure. See, I know this is his topic. This is his topic. Look at his feet, right?
Uh-oh.
They have consistently been a failure. But have you given up on your Rams? Don't you still wear your jersey?
Yeah, but I'm not giving up on you. But at the same token, I'm not going to.
But haven't other people told you, give up, Mo, forget the Rams, they're not winning nothing.
They said that when we winning. So
all right. Look at your ability to stay with the Rams.
But
right?
Okay, so I get that.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching this same loss over and over trying to analyze. I don't watch the losses. I only, like, if we lose, like, there's, like, for the Rams, I've watched the Rams lose in Super Bowls.
Yeah,
right?
But the story is the same with the Rams.
But hold on. But I'm saying this. I watched the Rams lose in the Super Bowl. I've never watched those. You know how they replay the games? Mm-hmm. I never watched them again. I watched the wins. Right. I ain't never watching them. I don't give a damn. I'm not watching Sports Center. I'm not watching those sports channels when we lose these games because I don't want to hear about the problems of these games. Mm-hmm. We lost.
But you're
Period.
You're still committed to them, though, right?
Yeah, but I'm still committed.
All right.
But I don't. But at the same token, why do I have to hear this lost and story over and over again just because you feel like I'm the guy that you vent to?
It is.
And I'm this is just the question.
I felt Bessie
this is the question. I'm saying I'm representing the fellas, and I'm trying to get an understanding. Like, at what point does a woman take responsibility and be like, all right, I'm not gonna wear him down with this same damn story about this person again? You gonna keep telling me the same story?
If we get to that point, we don't feel like we can't talk to you at all.
But how many times can I hear this story about
how many
lynch at work? You're like, this girl again at work? I want to go beat her up for you. And then on the flip side, you know what I'm saying? If we because dudes don't really do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If a dude, if I tell you a story like, man, Ed pissing me off, blah, blah, blah. And then I came back again, and I'm telling you, Ed pissing me off. You're going to be like, y'all like, you really whining about Ed? You letting another man piss you off like this? You need to go check Ed or do something. Mm-hmm. How come we won't have the same grace? Why can't we say, custom that job?
Yeah. And I guess we can't do that because that would not be the empathetic and relationship conducive thing to do, because that does not say that we value the person.
So I'm getting I understand about listening and everything. I'm just saying, like, at what point is there like a two-way street of understanding? Like, what point is it that understanding becomes a misunderstanding because it's like we beating this dead horse, and after the second or third time, I'm like, this is about the solution. I done walked over this board 3 times. Now you looking at me like,
my point in bringing up your rounds was that no matter what happens, you still have that commitment. So no matter what happens in trying to communicate in romantic relationships, that you still have to have the commitment and be committed to certain things that's going to make this relationship conducive to continue. And part of what that is in working with couples, we have this same conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody's not valued. It could be the man not feeling valued. Somebody's not valued and heard. Somebody's trying to communicate. So if the deeper thing in communication is a person feeling valued, then maybe look at the listening part as, this is how I communicate that I value this person. And it's a little deeper than just listening. How I show value and that I consider this person is through engaging in the banter. And that engaging in the banter will help facilitate some of the other things that I'm looking for in this bond.
But what's the engaging in the banter? Like,
I mean, you can give me any topic. I can go there with the banter because I had to learn.
Was like, oh, I seen him talk about it, and he was like, I tell you that bitch crazy. I'm supposed to be like making comments like that.
Yeah.
That's girls talk, man.
What? I mean, it is promoted as girl talk, but how women see it is bonding, because once she's able to do that, like, there's a ease. I could be wrong. There's a ease after that conversation. And then with that ease comes some things that I might be looking for. So so I might be, get a unlimited chicken wing coupon because I listened for 7 times. Or, there are some other things that I can do because I have shown value in this way. Is that, do you get a chicken wing coupon?
Yeah, a little bit more than that.
Oh, okay. I'm scared to ask.
That's why he's married and I'm not.
Because he is such a good listener.
Well,
get paid to listen.
Yeah, I do, but
this is but at home is practice.
But my point is, Mo, I was the same. I was the same way. I was the same way, but I was toxic as hell, Mo, and I was like not allowing this space, and I was so selfish. Like, why am I not getting what I need from black women? If a black woman don't feel value, you not gonna get what you need. Yeah. So, you know, I try to use my mistakes, and whenever I do make mistakes, in my friendships and in my marriage, when I do make mistakes, it all comes down to the person not feeling valued.
Listen, to whoever is out there and you've told me your problem, I promise you.
We're going to call this show disclaimer.
I'm listening the first time. I promise I'm listening the first time. Second time, half. The third time,
what the hell?
But even on the first time, I will say, I still will never ever. I will never ever be able to turn off the solution me, the problem solving ability or the problem solving mode. I just don't.
We just saying meet in the middle, because I think that
I won't tell you, but I'm already thought about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, what are we doing? Why all problems? We need to come up with a solution to something, or they gonna just be continued problems and added on stress. You know what I mean? How do we release those stress? It's not just by talking and repeating those problems and going through the cycle. Where's the solution to those problems?
Yeah, I'm not saying give up who you are. You are great at solutions, because I call you for solutions all the damn time. So that's a strength. All I'm saying is that, especially in romantic situations, to create a bridge by meeting a person in the middle. So a little bit, because I'm like you, I'm a little bit of solutions. You know, I might be thinking it and not saying it, but the solutions is still there. But I lead a different way than I used to lead, with just putting the solutions at the forefront. I'm going to still work on it, but I'm going to try to give enough validation. Is that a good word, validation? I'm going to give enough validation that it doesn't seem like I'm also doing the solutions too.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And I will try to be more Ed-like in my...
No.
In my...
Ed is not perfect. Don't be Ed-like.
Understanding in my listening.
Don't be Ed-like.
I'm just saying...
Come to the middle of Mo. Mo in the middle.
Therapist.
Mo in the middle. That's what I'm saying. Don't be like Ed.
I'm going to try to be understanding and listen, no matter how long the story is. No matter how minute or how much, I'm just like, I'm going to listen. And I'm going to try to understand. But fellas, because that's all we can do is try to understand and just listen. And then add in some, yep, you know, she crazy.
And the what?
Yeah.
You gotta add that.
You gotta do that.
Just, you know, I think there's what is the 5 basic words? Yep. Oh yeah, I hear you.
Stop playing.
Man, she tripping, because it's always a she. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's a he, she ain't gonna tell you about the he that's caused the problem.
The work husband.
Yeah. It's always a she. I'm like, man, why is she tripping? Or I wouldn't let her talk to me like that.
Now, if you want bonus points, you remember each part of the story, because it's gonna be different renditions.
Oh,
and you throw in a little bit more. Because see, last time she threw the potato salad. Now, what did she do this time? Oh,
there you go.
You do that?
Yeah.
You gonna get bonus points.
I'm telling you, Mo.
And then if you can keep up with each nuance of the story, shoot, you might get married. You might get married in 2 weeks.
I'm telling you.
Listen, I know all the parts, but I would just be like, man. And this isn't current. I just want to be clear.
Okay.
This isn't current.
But in the future.
This just happens. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard it, and I'll be like, money. Serious.
She's seeking you, and you know what? In those moments, just be like this, Mo. she's seeking validation for something right now. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm gonna give her a I'm gonna say yes, girl. Well, you're not gonna say yes, girl. I know you're not gonna say that. You're gonna say yeah, baby, or whatever you would say. But just think, validation is. You're definitely not saying that, Mo.
No, no,
but validation leads to a deeper appreciation. Man.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's about a person feeling validated. So think about let's even use your male relationships. Every place that you feel validated and safe, your communication with even the man in your life is different. Mm-hmm. In those spaces that you do not feel validated, you're not discussing anything.
That's right. The good doctor.
That is why he's the professional and I'm not. And that's why he need to walk across the stage.
That's right.
Yes.
You know, because that's what we do. I think that
I feel like I'm in the sharing chair today. Like
we appreciate Bessie being here. We actually probably gonna have to have you back. Just
let me know.
Lighten the mode, a woman's perspective. Not all testosterone and just masculinity. I know I can be out of the two. I think I'd probably be more problematic. I'm really probably not.
No, you're not problematic.
I just speak up for the fellas.
You are not problematic at all.
Ed is more diplomatic.
Comes with the territory. Yeah, I think that's a strength, though, man. We don't want you to upset your strengths. We just want you to massage them a little bit. Because I think that what you have, you don't need to be edited. You find as is. This is just a little massage of those things. Because I don't want you to not be yourself. That's what makes you Mo.
This has been.
I feel like you want a closing statement. I feel like you need to talk to the people, Bessie. How was this for you? You got
this was wonderful.
You got any last statements on validation? Any of our main themes today?
What has really stuck with me is what Mo said about Black women. The way how he pretty much reframed what that other gentleman said about Black women being the lead cause of death in Black men, and we're actually the kryptonite, So what he explained about that, it summed it up. We can help you soar. The right ones will help you soar. And depending on the choices that you make, okay? Depending on the choices that you make, we can help you fly or help you not. I don't want to say the other word that rhymes with it. But yeah, that really stuck with me, Mo. And I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. And that's what makes him him.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let y'all leave with that clip of me saying Black women are the number one killer of Black men in America. This gonna be over for me.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be people out there picketing, boycotting on that.
Oh my God!
Because they will take that one clip
and
of
they
you
won't
saying
listen to nothing else.
They won't listen to anything.
No, that's not going to happen. No. But again, this has been the Reclamation Point podcast, man. Please follow us, subscribe on all platforms. Reclamation Point.
What's your handle, Bessie?
I'm sorry. Hold on, brother. This brother, you see what I'm saying? He ain't listening. He listened to the sisters.
I just talked about validation. Let me be quiet. Let me validate my ass in my seat.
This is crazy. This is why he needs the sweet tea and not that.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
But this has been the Reclamation Point podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Moetown Lee. You can follow me on all platforms, Moetown Lee, MOETOWNLEE, and my partner, No Sweet Tea, Dr.
You can find me at Validation. No. You can find me on all platforms, Dr. Ed Garnes, at Dr. Ed Garnes, all platforms.
And last but certainly not least, our guest.
Bessie Akuba, and you can find me on all platforms. Bessie Akuba, BessieAkuba. Bessie Akuba.
And you got to listen. She's an amazing artist.
Yeah,
You have to visit her page, and you got to buy some art.
Yes.
And
Support
if you're feeling
arts.
nice, buy me a piece of her art. So I'll put up on the wall.
Oh yeah.
That'd be hard. If you love me, if you listen to me, you would understand. I'm
an artiste at heart.
If you are actually listening, you know what I mean? No. No, but again, thank you to U42 Studios. Thank you to Yaz. Thank you to David. And we got to get out of here. See you next week. Happy holidays, whatever you call it. Turkey Day. Enjoy your Popeyes or grandma's turkey or whatever you do. Your Vegurkey, whatever. What's vegan turkey? Verkey.
Oh, Verkey.
Yeah. Enjoy it. You know, pray that everybody's safe. And we out. And avoid them killer black people. I just said. We out.
Peace.